Hey YouTube, this is Robinats1 here, and I'm here to do a I'm here to do a March comic book haul. So, I did get some additional stuff as always. I got this convergence checklist guide thing, for obviously the new Convergence story that's coming out. I will be trying to do a review on all of the Convergence titles, if I can. So do expect some Convergence, next month. I also got this, the Avengers Ultron Forever, little card thing, just, promoting a new book that they're doing. Personally, I don't know how on earth Marvel is finding the time to bring out new books. Obviously with the fact that Secret Wars is literally right around the corner. I'm quite surprised that they're still bringing out new books. And this is another new book that they're bringing out. Hawkeye. All new Hawkeye. And Spider-Woman. Like, just really surprised at how many books Marvel is trying to throw out just before Secret Wars come out. I also found this Fight Club 2 book. I have watched Fight Club. I haven't read this book yet. But it's basically like a free copy that Dark Horse Comics have done. So I got quite curious about this, and I think I might just read the issue and let you guys know what this is like. I obviously haven't read it, but I'm just gonna see what this book is like, because the movie was okay. So now we get on to the actual comic book reviews, and the reason why you guys are watching me today. So, as always, we're gonna go from worst to best. There wasn't so much a worst book this month. I actually enjoyed most of them. But yeah. So the first book is Darth Vader, issue 2. To be fair, this book did come out in February, but I'm kind of behind on all my books. But Darth Vader, issue 2. So, Darth Vader is basically now under new command. He's under the command of General Targ, and General Targ was last seen in New Hope. And he was the general who basically kind of snubbed Darth Vader in New Hope, saying the Force was a hoax, and his belief in the Force was inferior to the power of the Death Star, which we now know, Death Star having gone boom, the Force is a lot more stronger. So basically, Darth Vader goes out on a mission, to investigate why a series of a pirate ship has been taking Imperial cargo, and Darth Vader is also being watched by one of Tark's men. And Darth Vader also seems to have an ulterior motive. One of my biggest complaints about Darth Vader issue 1 was the dialogue. The dialogue seemed more like Thor than it felt like Vader. The dialogue is a lot better in this issue. I still don't feel the Darth Vader voice coming through in the character. I think that's because I have a distinct idea about how Darth Vader should talk and act. And I think the book has yet to really give me that feeling. But I love how ruthless Vader has been in these comics. You can definitely see that Dark Lord come out in these issues. And I really like it. Like, one of the droids that reminds me a lot of R2-D2, he just completely demolishes. And it's a very cool book. So now we get on to the next one. There's not much to Darth Vader, which is why that's the end of the review, because the thing is with Darth Vader is it's a good book, there just doesn't seem to be very much story coming through yet. So now we get on to the all-new X-Men stuff. The first being all-new X-Men issue 37. Now, these two books came out in the wrong order. 38 came first, and then 37 came after. And that's because 38 is tying into this Black Vortex story. But we're going to touch upon issue 37 first. And issue 37 is really good. Emma Frost basically takes Jean Grey and trains her to use telekinesis. And she takes her to Madripoor, where they go and stop the Blob from committing the MGH, and try and stop him from selling MGH, which was of course established in Uncanny X-Men. I really like this issue for a number of reasons. I like the idea of how Frost is teaching Jean Grey to use her abilities, and she's accelerating to the point where Jean Grey is becoming to the same level as the older Jean Grey, which is really cool, and it's a really nice idea because what years and years of storyline is being told, that was told with old Jean Grey, is being done with Jean Grey. And it basically continues this idea that Xavier may have kept secrets, may have dampened Jean Grey's telekinesis during the older life of Jean Grey. And I just really like that, because it does make you wonder what else Xavier's keeping in the bag, and whether Xavier is actually very controlling. And I really like the idea. I like the fact that Blob is stopped from committing crimes against mutants. And I actually didn't mind the artwork. My only problem with the book is Frost is sort of getting her powers back, and I feel like we should have gone through a character arc that basically established that. You know, established how her powers were coming back to her. Because I do feel like Bendis has just dropped the fact that Magik and Cyclops and Emma and Magneto, to an extent, I think their powers should have been properly established. Are they fully back, or are they more powerful than they were? Bendis just seems to have dropped that point of the story. It also should be pointed out that Bendis' story is coming to a close very soon, and it should be very interesting to see what happens to the X-Men after Secret Wars. Because obviously Marvel want the rights to the X-Men back, but they can't have the rights back. So they're now siding more on the Inhumans. So I'm not sure what's going to happen to the X-Men. Because I have been really, really liking the X-Men, particularly Bendis' run. But speaking of Bendis, all new X-Men issue 38. So this continues the Black Vortex storyline, and I have really been liking the Black Vortex storyline. It reminds me a lot of AVX. It's very much an AVX, a cosmic AVX kind of storyline, where Beast, Angel, and Gamora basically kind of serve that Phoenix 5 group, and basically they're coordinating a plan to basically advance other civilizations. We also have the team sort of re-coordinating their plans. So in this issue, it's really interesting because Beast seems to be imposing the Black Vortex power onto other civilizations that are less advanced. And it's quite interesting because he's forcing the evolution, and I don't think he realizes just how similar to Cyclops he is becoming. Because Cyclops kind of went through the same similar thing in AVX, so it's quite interesting to see Beast go through that process. But it's interesting to see a less civilized society be forced into this advancement. And in this instance, it actually proves to be very, very damaging. Because, and it sort of, it reminds me of Star Trek Into Darkness. You know, in that first bit of the movie where Kirk sort of changed the ideas of a civilization, indirectly causing a new way of life to occur. And it's sort of similar to what we saw in this issue, and it's really, and it just really interests me. We see two cameos in this book. We see the return of Cyclops, which was fairly evident. Bendis is bringing this book to a close now, so it's about time that Cyclops actually returns back to All New X-Men. And it was a bit predictable that this was going to happen in Black Vortex, because it's a way for Cyclops to return back to the team. And we also see Kree, the Ronin the Accuser, which was fairly cool as well. Anyway, on to the next storyline, which surprisingly is Injustice. Now, obviously, as you guys well know, I have been sort of entertained by Injustice, but I haven't liked this year worth of story. This is obviously the final end to that story. I did really like Injustice, and deciding on what I liked more was really difficult. But the reason why I decided that Injustice 11 and 12 were second place was just because I think it really dropped the ball with the ideas. I thought we were going to have a situation where this would actually end magic. And the idea of ending magic has been seen in Buffy the Vampire Slayer and the Charmed comics. And I think it would have been really interesting if Injustice had gone there. If Injustice had cut all ties with magic. And because Shazam's power comes from the gods, it wouldn't have counted. And I did think that was where they were going to go, and it kind of... It was kind of a shame that they didn't go there. So without getting too much into this book, and because of my time, I really liked the goodbye that Nightwing said to Batman. It was very emotional, and I think it was just some lovely words were said that really cemented their relationship. And Nightwing is really the true son of Batman in the end. And I also like the fact that Nightwing didn't really blame Damian either. It's Batman that blamed Damian for Nightwing's death. and it should be interesting to see if there becomes anything more to that. I also really like the Poison Ivy and Swamp Thing pairing. They sort of seemed like they were grouped together, and it really struck me. What if Ivy inherited the green? And for those of you who don't know what the green is, it's basically like this mystical force that Swamp Thing has. And it really struck me because Ivy actually becoming the Swamp Thing makes perfect sense. We do obviously find out Constantine's endgame during this book. I'm not going to give it away, but it's basically Constantine in a nutshell. So that's the end of that one. And now we get on to Thor issue 3. So this book I kept meaning to get, but my comic book store wasn't selling them at the time. Well, now I finally got access to the book, and let me tell you, Lady Thor is really good. In this issue, it's established that the Frost Giants are trying to gain access to Lao Fei's skull, which holds this great big power that will restore their race. And it seems like there is a war brewing throughout all of the issues. I'm sorry guys, I'm just gonna wrap this up now because I am running out of battery on my iPad. So here's what I gathered from Thor. Basically, the idea is that no one knows the identity of Lady Thor, and sorry, my iPad's falling. Hold on guys, sorry. It's just my iPad is falling off my stand. Anyway, sorry. So Thor. Basically it's established that no one knows the identity of Lady Thor, and there seems to be some kind of thing blocking everyone from knowing the identity of who Lady Thor is. And there are multiple candidates raised here, from Jane Foster to some agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. person to Lady Sif. It is established that it's not Freya who is Lady Thor. It's someone else. Now there is a rumour going around that it's actually Jane Foster, and I think it could well be Jane Foster. Because Jane Foster appears to have cancer, and it might be that and there's sort of a reference to something that was trailed off in I believe issue 5, I think. But I really like the mystery behind Lady Thor. I think though that it's going to get old very quick, and I do want to know the identity of who Lady Thor is before Secret Wars. I would also quite like to know what was said to Thor at the end of Original Sin. So there are quite a lot of mysteries to this book that I think need to be answered before Secret Wars begins. And there seems to be a brewing war that Malekith seems to be orchestrating here. Malekith definitely is trying to orchestrate groups like Roxanne, who seem to take an interest in Asgard. And it seems to be like Malekith is orchestrating an attack on Asgard itself, who is dealing with its own set of problems because Freya and Odin are arguing over the rule of Asgard, and Odin is doing a number of questionable things in order to get back the Hammer of Thor. So some really interesting political, social events happening here, such as gender. It's a really, really fascinating book. I think it helps that that Lady Thor is such a great character. I'm really, really liking her in the book. And I'm grateful that we might actually get to see Lady Thor after Secret Wars. So it's a great book with some great ideas, and I'm going to sign off because I am just running out of time. Quick update for next month. There won't be any comic book reviews next month because I'm currently working on giving you guys all of the Marvel Studios film franchise. Everything from Iron Man all the way up to Agent Carter. And that is going to happen next month, give or take. I've been having slight differences with work, so everything in my life is up in the air. But I will be giving you guys these reviews, because obviously Age of Ultron is coming out for us in April. But you're going to have a really comprehensive and informative review on each of the films and TV shows. I won't be doing Daredevil, but you are going to have the rest of it. So do look forward to that. Anyway, I'm Rob Nuts1 here, and I shall see you later for another comic book haul. Bye.